Street cred sports. Street cred sports. I'm crossing over. I'm Euro stepping.
Hello, this is Keenan of Street Cred Sports Training, and welcome to another episode of Time to Ball. This is episode 121 with my guy,
Lee Williams.
my guy who's not here. I messed up, y'all. I got to do a better job of making sure I explain everything, but yeah, I messed it up. He was waiting for the link at home, and I'm over here waiting. I got all, you see, I'm here in the studio. I got my table all ready and everything. And I'm like, man, where you at? He's like, man, I'm waiting on the link. And I'm like, on the link? Oh, okay, that's me. I messed up. So,
well, it's not all your fault because, sometimes listeners don't know how to listen. So, and then you got a question asked, so that's my fault too.
So, I always try to strive to do better, y'all. How's everything going?
Man, it's going good. We getting close to our first practice and just really trying to get our local girls tightened up and ready. Been watching a lot of basketball, women's, men's. Just seeing a lot of coaches get let go, and it's that time of year. Lot of players got to start making the decisions. April 3rd or 4th is the portal, and it won't be open very long. I think 30 days, 30 to 45 days, if I'm not mistaken. So don't quote me on that, but just trying to really help some of our college kids. A couple of them have to make some decisions. We had one young lady from Eastwood, Amaya Williams. She signed and committed to UT Arlington from a JUCO. I mean, I love JUCO products. Obviously, we'll touch on that one of these days, but don't want to get too deep into that. But that's really it, man. It's really trying to stay organized, stay up, and keep this thing rolling. What about yourself, man?
Man, I'm just hanging in there, just trying to make $1 out of 15 cents.
I hear you. At least you got 15 cents.
I'm still working on that. I know the song. I'm like, okay, well, when I get 15 cents, I'm gonna try to make $1 out of it. But until then, I'm penny pinching.
I hear you. I'm doing the same.
Hey, so let's dive right into this.
Let's get to it.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, Bam Adebayo for the Miami Heat, what was it, 2-3 days ago, against the Washington Wizards, scored 83 points in their game. Now it's the second highest individual point total in the history of the sports of NBA. First was Will Chamberlain, who scored 100.
Absolutely. Yep.
And before Bam's, it was Kobe who scored 81. Now with Bam scoring 83, it puts him at number 2, pushes Kobe to number 3.
Right.
But it has been a whirlwind of negativity towards Bam in breaking that record. And I'm just like, why? I've got text messages. I got on my Facebook comments. Like, I don't understand all the hate.
Well, I don't even think it's toward Bam. I know he's involved with it, so it may seem like it's toward Bam. I think the NBA is losing, I don't want to say luster, but the integrity of the game is just being lost. I mean, it's bad right now. You can see why, viewership is down, and that's going to continue to spiral if they don't get a hold of these refs, if they don't get a hold, just play the game the right way. The NBA, people who watch the games, you got fans that understand what's going on. And so when you get to the line 40 times, I mean, that doesn't help Bam at all. It's not his fault. He's just playing the game. Bam has not been a scorer I think he can be a scorer, but Miami's kind of had him in a role. I believe he has a skill set to be a scorer, but that's never been him. That's the one thing that's kind of like weird. You've got the coach from Houston. He's annoyed about it. Shot 40 free throws and only made 6 threes and things of that nature. It seemed like it was almost, it was almost created, if that makes sense. And so you get to the line 40 times. That's a bit much. Then
they were fouling him though. Look, I watched some of the game. They were fouling him. Some of that stuff was like, what were they doing?
But no. I agree with that. But Miami was also doing stuff to slow down the game and stop the clock so he can get, I just think it's got to happen organically. Kobe could have had 81 points prior. I mean, Kobe had 60 in 3 quarters and left the game. And so, bam, you're up 30 or 40, whatever it was, or 20, whatever 30 or 40. Just sit down,
So you are on that. You are on that side.
Well, the thing is like, it's not like he was getting buckets, K. He's shooting free throws. You know what I'm saying?
He had 31 in the first, 35 in the first quarter.
Okay, I don't know how many free throws he had in the first quarter.
But what I'm saying is, you have that many points in the first quarter. Yeah. There's usually a thought that, like, I could go for 50 tonight, right?
And that's great. I'm for that, K.
Then he gets 40. He has 43 and a half. Now it's like, man, I might be able to get 60 or 70 tonight.
Yeah, so I have no problem with that either. But
okay, so then let me ask you this, because it was brought up about, okay, I can get the people saying it wasn't organic because people were fouling. They were trying to do what they could to help him get the points. Now, apparently, Wilt's team, when he got that 100, the coach was actually subbing in other players to intentionally foul so Wilt could get more opportunities to keep scoring, right? Then with the Kobe situation, what they were saying was that last 6 or 7 minutes of the game, Kobe was the only one who shot the ball. His teammates were passing up shots to feed him because he had it going and they were trying to get him to help break their record.
But Kay, that's his DNA. That's what he does.
Yeah, I know. So if we're gonna go from a DNA standpoint, yeah, but how many times do you have guys that they just feel it?
I agree. And on Will, it wasn't even recorded. They didn't even have camera. They barely had cameras back then.
Well,
so we don't know what happened.
There's apparently, now I don't know, but they talked about it. They said there is an actual, I guess, transcript of the game. So you can't see it, but you can, follow it along. And
I got
apparently,
you. Okay.
Apparently, the coach, I think the coach even admitted to doing it. So
well, and don't get me wrong, I'm okay. I've always thought very highly of Bam. I really have. I've always thought Bam has underachieved, not because of him, because
how they play him,
the system he's in. I think this will now allow him to open up his game.
Exactly.
To me, this is gonna sound criminal, but I mean it in the most respectful way. The way Miami is structured, or was structured with Bam, it was semi, without the hate and all that kind of stuff. It was semi how Golden State was doing. What's my man's name? Forgot his name. No. The one that left to the Hawks. Kuminga. Yeah, I mean, limit. Well, this is our style. Well, hold on, man. We got a horse here. Let's let him go. Yeah. Kind of like you would do, man. Take the covers off this thing and let him go. Like Bam out of Bayou, it's been said he's never lost a one-on-one game, and he's played with LeBron. He's played with my man. So Beasley, so like he's that dude, but
Yeah.
nobody knows he's that dude. I personally think and knowing the mind, I don't know the mind of Pat Riley, but just getting to kind of think that's a guy you don't want to lose. So you kind of tame him down and structure it to where he doesn't blow up, so nobody knows he's that good. I mean, I've always known this guy can. I mean, Bam can run the 2, 3, 4. I mean, he is that guy. So I'm super happy for Bam. I'm very happy for Bam. And hey, look, if they foul you, you still gotta make your free throws.
Right. You still got to make the shots. That's why
you gotta make
the
the free
crazy
throws.
thing is they had brought up to Kobe some time ago about a kid who had scored like 137 points in a Division III college game.
Yeah.
And Kobe was like, man, that's great. That's fantastic. So I don't know. Look, some people saying, oh, it was this, it was that. And I'm like, man, just appreciate it. Because when Kobe scored 81, it was the same thing. Initially, it was the same thing about how he scored that many points and this and that. And I'm like, dog, just appreciate the fact that he scored 81.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I can vividly remember being in the men's league. We were playing a team that really weren't that good. So they said, hey, this is going to be the night that we shoot a guy's arm off tonight, and we're going to see who's hot. So it just happened to be me and another guy. I had 65 at half. He had 50. So they chose me. I ended up with 131. I mean, crazy.
I need video evidence, man. Where that
stats? Listen. I got about 4 or 5 guys that can vouch for this.
Yeah, we're gonna have them on the show. We're gonna have them on the show.
Man. Now, I'm gonna tell you this right now. It was an out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
It was I was making stuff I had no business making. They were getting mad at me when I scored a layup. You point shaving, So I mean, man, I was playing with we would call shotsies at the time. I think Boot was there. Pinson was there. A lot of guys were there. But
Boot can vouch for it.
Come on, man. Okay. Now I'm not gonna get on here on your show spouting off about something that happened to me that didn't happen. Not gonna happen.
Boob's getting the text in a little while anyway. So
you ask him, man. You ask him. So like I can totally understand that. The other team was upset because we just kept on scoring and scoring and scoring. Yeah. But like, now I'm not gonna lie, okay. I was sore for 3 days. Because I was in my mid to late 30s. Boy,
yeah.
I was sore for days. But I mean, I totally get it. When somebody's got it rolling, you go with it. Because look, like this may never happen again. So I mean, I'm okay with it. I think Bam deserves it. I think, Bam should be really taking 20 to 30 shots a game in my mind, every game, because he has a skill set like that. And then lastly, with all due respect, you're playing the Wizards.
Yeah, but hey, everybody played the Wizards. You ain't had nobody else score at least 40 or 50.
That I agree with. I agree, but look, you in Miami too.
Yeah, they always talk about that.
Yeah, you're in Miami too. But I mean, what's your take?
I just appreciate the fact that he did it. Like, I get some of the stuff that I understand what they're saying, but there is nobody that you can't tell me there's nobody in the league that if they had a teammate that was close to doing that they would help them. Now, the only person that could stop it would be the coach, which is what Phil Jackson had did that time against Kobe, where he had it going, right? I think Steve Kerr's done it a couple of times because Clay had 65,
in 3 quarters.
Yeah. So the coaches are the one, but it's like, man, look, this is not something that happens every day. So let it play out.
I agree with you 1,000%, but I'll say this: Bam is elite. Do not get it twisted with this guy. He is elite. And like we
Yeah.
both saying, you gotta make the shots. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. So hope.
here's what I'm gonna say. Last thing I'm gonna say on this thing. They're talking about he didn't make as many threes. That's even more impressive.
Yeah.
That's even
Yeah. He
more
missed. He
impressive.
shot up. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
was
So
shooting almost 50%. So
yeah.
what are we saying?
So well, let's move on to topic 2.
Okay.
And my question to you is Shay starting to have the gravity tag? And for me, let me just what people like, what is the gravity tag? It's
Mhm.
guys that you have to double all the time. They bring
Yeah.
gravity on the court. I'll use Steph right now. When
Okay.
Steph is on the floor, you have to shade extra defenders because he can hurt you time and time again. And that's how a
Correct.
lot of other guys get shots off.
Correct.
After watching Shay hit those 2 3-pointers to beat Denver, is it time to give him that gravity tag?
It is, man. He's just so different, Kay. He's it's almost like the game is really slow to him. He sees things 3 or 4 or 5 steps ahead. You know, I honestly think he hadn't said this, but and he's on now. Watching him play, I think he's still in his first and second options as far as his moves. He hadn't even got to
Yeah.
his third and fourth and fifth. I mean,
Yeah.
and he is so accurate. You know, I'd put him and Kawhi in that space when Kawhi has it going. Like, you gotta get the ball out their hands at some point. I mean, he's probably gonna get another MVP if he keeps on this tear.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, uh, I I like Shay when he was with the Clippers. You know, when he got to OKC, I thought it was messed up that they traded him, and he's ascended, and I'm happy about it. The only thing
Hmm.
is not that he goes to the line for me, is that he sometimes he oversells fouls, and I get
A
why
ton.
you do it, but that's the only thing for me. The one thing I do like about him that I've grown to like more about him he used to be kind of, I don't want to say a defensive liability, but people hunted him.
Hmm.
He's
He
he's
stepped
done a
up.
very good
He
job
stepped
of
up, Kay.
playing better defense to
No
where you
doubt.
can almost say he's a two-way player now.
No doubt. And the last thing is he's a great guy.
Yes.
He's he's a great guy. You know, he's guy. I mean, you can follow the guy. You know, you can trust that your kids can watch him and not have to worry about any yeah, you know what I'm getting
Yeah.
at. Yeah. What I think the one thing that he's done, I think he gets to the line too much, but that's James Harden's fault. He's patterned after that. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
his three ball has gotten much better. His three ball has gotten way
Right.
better. You know, his accuracy at the
And
three ball.
the funny part is he doesn't even have to get to the line, because like when you say he doesn't have to go to his third or fourth move, with him being as tall as he is going to get the shot he wants every time. With is going to be, two or three left-hand dribble, kind of step back pull. He's gonna get that almost every time he wants. So it's like he doesn't
Okay,
have to sell the foul. But yeah,
okay.
I'm loving it.
People don't realize how big he is.
Yeah, it's like he's 6'8". Or is it no
No.
6'7",
6'5", 6'6", 6'5", 6'6",
six six.
okay. Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I said 6'8". He's a long 6'6".
He's probably 6'5", but that arm length, that
Yeah,
wingspan
he's
allows him to
really
be
long.
almost 6'6", 6'7". I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
honestly, yeah.
yeah,
And his change of pace is unreal, unreal.
yeah, yeah. All right, well, that's good. I can put him in that, and really start to appreciate. And I'm gonna be interested to see how teams start to play him more, because I think with this game, I think it was okay, yeah, we got to really look at playing him differently now. We just can't put our best defender on him. You know, and
Right.
yeah, there are times where they double team him, but to me, gravity is, dog, somebody else is going to beat us. If we got to throw 3 guys at you,
Yeah.
we're going to throw 3 guys.
I mean, who would you say are those guys right now in the league? Would you say Jokic?
I would say Steph, but you know, we hadn't seen a lot of Steph, but you know, he was one that's like when he's crossing. Look, gravity to me is they're guarding you 94 feet whether you have the ball or not. And that's what I see. Like when there were times when Steph would like he passed the ball and the dude like, I'm not running back on defense, I'm with you. You know,
Right.
and then if he's coming out screens, they're looking. When he gets across half court and he gets the ball, they're sending a third guy to him. And I think especially when they see, okay, he's got it going, we definitely got to take the ball out of his hand. Like, I'm trying to think who else.
What
off
about
the top
Booker?
of my head.
Is he close? Is Booker close?
It's weird because Booker's such an elite scorer, but it's like when he gets it going, then yeah. But like there are times where they'll just put their best defender on him. If you have an opportunity to double team him, they'll double team him. But like with Harden that year when he had it going, where they were just anytime he crossed half court, they were sending the second person saying, "Now, somebody else is gonna have 40 tonight. You're not scoring anything." You know,
right.
I'm trying to think of other players. I can't think of anybody right now.
Guys are so athletic now, man. They don't have to do it as much.
Yeah,
you know, guys are. I mean, you got those 6'8" wings that can switch. I mean, it kind of makes it tough on a bunch of folks. I know you would say no, but at some point, is Luka one of those guys?
You know, it's weird. You know what the weird thing about Luka will hit you for like 30 or 40 that first half. And then he tends to taper off that second half. It's the weirdest thing. Like he's had a couple of games where I was like, man, he might get 80.
Right.
But then that second half, he stops shooting, his shots off. Then of course, you know, it's the complaining that he does. I think he's close. He's close, but it's weird with how he scores. It really is.
I really think his ways of really complaining about things kind of takes him out of games at times mentally. I mean, he's good enough to get back in the game and do whatever he wants to do, but you know, you have to have the laser-like focus when you got it going like that. Laser-like focus.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, so let's move on to the last topic. I'm disgusted. I had my plane tickets already, and then I find out that the NBA canceled the Magic City sponsored game with the Bucks, man.
Hey, you call that last week. Was it last week?
Yeah.
Hey.
I can't believe they canceled it, man.
It's your fault. Hey, it's your fault. It's your fault.
Man, I went to the bank and got like 500 ones. I said I don't even want new dollar bills. I want some of them old crushed ones as well.
You crazy, boy.
I can't believe it, man.
I mean, it was coming.
The reason why I can't believe it is because it's not like the NBA has known this for months. This has been talked about for a month or two. And you wait until like a few days before, and then you come out and say no. I
don't think everybody knew what it really was. Because we think of Magic City.
I'm gonna tell you what it was.
Okay.
One of them high executives was like, "No, we can't have candy in the gym."
Yeah.
Because Candy's gonna recognize me, and my wife don't know that I be going to Magic City.
I can see. Hey, look here. It was gonna be some fans too. It was gonna be in trouble. It was gonna be some problems.
It was gonna be plenty of people in there that was gonna be in trouble.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I'm speechless. I mean, like, what's wrong with the world, man? Where a strip club can't be a sponsor. You know what? I think I'm gonna have a strip club sponsor us. And see, I don't have to worry about nobody saying no.
Hey, boy, you gonna get us all in trouble.
Man, I can have the strip club, I can have the stripper behind us. We could have a pole right here, right in front of Leave Better Than You Came, and they could be dancing while we talking. What you think, man?
Cut the tape. Cut the tape.
Hey,
This boy done lost his mind.
Oh yeah. I didn't. I mean, look, I wasn't a fan of it, but I'm just like, why y'all wait till right now to go ahead and stop it? Y'all, if you're gonna stop it, you should have stopped it back then when it was discussed.
Atlanta, why even put that out there like that?
Yeah, they shouldn't have said nothing. They should have just waited.
No, just don't do it. Just don't do it.
We'll never know if Candy was gonna get. Look, I don't know. Candy's the first name that came to me. So if there's a Candy out there that's not a stripper or that is a stripper, I don't want you to think I'm trying to, put you in a bubble or something. That's first name came to my mind. And I don't even think I remember the few times I went to the strip club. I don't even think I remember a lady named Candy. But in any case, sorry.
I've never gone, but once, and I got kicked out for laughing. I was in my mid to late 30s, never had gone. I needed a ride home, so we had got done playing a game. These guys wanted to go to a strip club. I'm not gonna name the name, and so I'm like, nah, man, I don't do that. And it was cold outside, so I'm like, oh man, I had to go.
Yeah.
So, the guy gets up. Everybody welcome Summer. So Summer looked like she hadn't eaten in 7 weeks and fell down. And I was laughing so hard. The bouncer said, hey, man, you got to go. We losing customers. You got to get out of here.
Hey,
everybody was laughing at me.
I got a story. I can't tell it on the podcast. I'm sorry. I'll tell it to you afterwards, but I get it.
I don't really believe in them too much at all. But I did go that time because I literally had to. But I was there for a good 3 to 5 minutes and booted out. And then we all had to leave because they was laughing too. So I got my way. I got to ride home.
Well, I'm sorry, y'all. I was rooting. I was looking forward to come on and talking and putting video of the Magic City game for the Atlanta just to show some of the shenanigans that went on, but
you gonna get us banned.
The NBA, yeah, but that's all right. I'm gonna work to get one going on in here.
YouTube gonna cancel you, boy. You better be quiet. Talking crazy.
We're gonna have a new sponsor, y'all.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, as I've said before.
Hey,
Keenan Cage's thoughts, his rhetoric has nothing to do with Lee Williams III.
Hey, when we come on this new episode, they're gonna be like, "Hey, why are there a lot of dollar bills on the front table?" Oh my God, I got a headache. Okay, all right. Well, we gonna go ahead. We're gonna stop this portion because we're gonna be back. And when we come back, we're gonna have a special guest for the basketball ideology. So we just want y'all to stay tuned. Oh Lord, my mama I think she calling me right now. Let me go so I can calm my mama down. I do not want my mama coming up here to whoop my ass.
You deserve it on this one. I didn't think you was gonna go there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some parents messaging me like, you know what, we were enjoying your podcast until this episode, and I was like, I'm sorry, we talked about it, so I just wanted to follow up, but I apologize. I apologize. But
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
we're gonna be back, and then we'll get on with the basketball ideology and a special guest, which is gonna be Coach Eric Weaver of the Chapin High School girls basketball, who's gonna talk to us about some of the UIL rule changes. He's gonna get on us because I misspoke before, so it can't be no furniture moving because it's on video, so it's gonna be some wobbly video or whatever. All right, we'll be back.
All right, now.
Okay, so we're back, and we're going to get into our basketball ideology. With us, we obviously have Lee Williams, and now we have Coach Eric Weaver of the Chapin High School girls basketball team. And last week we were talking about the new format, and Coach Weave hit me up like, "Hey man, y'all messing up. I don't know what the hell y'all talking about."
No, don't say that. No, y'all were on point on a lot of stuff, man. I love the conversation. Don't get me wrong. No.
I appreciate you watching, man. Sure.
We was watching, and look, I'm not gonna call him Coach Weaver or Coach Eric Weaver. I always call him Weave. All right, that's just how I call him. And if he okay with it, then everybody else need to be okay with it. But we communicated back and forth a little bit, and he wanted to make sure he gave us the accurate information. And that's what I always want to be. Is I'm not trying to be no clickbait, and put some wild, crazy accusations out. So, Coach, let's jump into the UIL playoff format. Can we start? Well, you know what? How was the season this year, Coach?
It was great. I have zero complaints. I mean, we learn what we need to learn over the course of the year. Y'all know me well enough to know I'm not chasing wins. So we scheduled difficult. We had a lot of 6As to start the year. Had an injury early to one of our key players, but that allowed some other girls to grow a little bit and have to go through the fire. So, eventually we kind of figured it out. And then we always play our best basketball towards the end of the season. So I have zero complaints about where we went. We finished with our bi-district championship again this year, lost in the area round. So, as far as El Paso teams are concerned in general, that's the baseline standard for solid play here in EP. If you can get out of your bi-district game, then you've had a solid season. From there, then you're running the gauntlet against some of these big-time squads pretty darn quick, especially on the girls' side in the Panhandle. It gets real heavy real quick. So,
So one of the things that we mentioned, and I want you to share with the audience to make sure I'm correct. What I was saying was, to me, it felt like it was going to be easier to at least make the Sweet 16 because, and I'm saying this as far as like the number one seed, right? In 5. So let's say you guys finish number 1 in your district, you're still going to play the 4th ranked team in the other district, or no?
Okay. No, not necessarily. So that's one of the things I mentioned on the message that we had. We are put into districts, and then after we qualify for the playoffs, we are then split based on our enrollments. We're always a big school because we're the biggest school in our district. So my only job is to make sure that I finish ahead of the other big schools in my district to be the 1 seed. I have not won district for 3 years, but the last 2 years I've been the number 1 seed in the big school playoffs. So I've been able to host playoff games at my gym, even though Burgess beat us in the district.
Right.
So Burgess is always a small school. Andress is always a small school. So anytime those 2 teams make the playoffs, I'm a big school. I just have to make sure I finish ahead of a Canutillo, an El Paso High, and a Jeff to be the 1 seed out of my district. So when after we all qualify for the playoffs, there's 4 teams. So from there, Burgess was 1. So, but they're a small school, so they're going to be the small school 1. We finished 2nd. We're a big school, so we are the big school 1. Now, Andress finishes 3rd, but they're a small school. So they are now the small school 2 because they finished behind Burgess in our district. And then our 4th team, Canutillo, made the playoffs. So they were the 4th seed, but they were the 2nd seed in the big school playoffs. That's why it's now split.
I need a map and some cue cards to keep up with.
It's something we all pay attention to when it comes to the enrollment of the other schools. So for the most part, when I look at the other district for by district, I'm really only now scouting 5 or 6 teams for my first couple rounds of the playoffs. I'm either going to play an Americas, an El Dorado, or a Bel Air because those are the biggest schools in District 2.
Okay.
And then I'm looking at Tascosa, Amarillo High, and then potentially one of the Wichita Falls schools because those are the big schools for the second round of the playoffs. So really my only focus is what can I do in my district to make sure I'm the number 1 seed for my part of the playoffs? Then who are the teams that I'm going to see? I scout Americas. I scout El Dorado. I scout Bel Air. I scout Tascosa. I scout Amarillo. Those are the schools that I look at because I know that's going to be my path to the Sweet 16 that we're speaking of.
Right. Okay. But it is, I believe on your text message, and the way it used to be at old format, it was you had to win 3 games to get to the Sweet 16.
Correct.
But now you only have to win 2 to get to the
Sweet 16. Yes. Yeah. Before
Okay.
it was 240 plus teams in the same bracket fighting for one championship. So you had to win 7 games to win a state championship.
Okay.
But that also meant that you were fighting like our ratio for we have over 1,300 schools playing basketball in Texas, and there were only 6 state champs. When we went to 12 champions a couple of years ago, our ratio is still the greatest ratio of championships to schools across the nation. It's still the biggest gap. So we still have the most difficult championships to win. It's just now we are crowning 12 state champs, and that's on par with an Indiana. Indiana's the closest to us. They used to do all levels, all schools, because I remember you kind of mentioning that you'd like to see one big champ. We'd all love to see that, but we don't want to play 11 rounds of basketball.
Yeah, I know. I guess it was just because that's what I was used to, you know.
No. We understand. We want to see as elite as possible. We're all of a like mind when it comes to separating the men from the boys and the women from the girls. We all understand that. But when it comes to just academic basketball, that's what we do. We coach in the UIL and we crown public school state champions. And we are still the most difficult championship to win, even though we have gone to 12 state champs. It's still 6 rounds of basketball. And no other state has to do that.
Right. Okay, so you did mention something about shot clock.
Yes. Shot clock. That was something that was pushed. It's been pushed over the last few years very, very hard. I've been a board member with the TABC for the last 3 years, and we've been right at the front of that fight, advocating for what the coaches of the state want. We did a poll a couple of years ago. It really gained a lot of momentum, and we did a poll of all the coaches around the state. We were in cooperation with UIL. UIL gave us the email addresses of every head coach based on all the certification stuff we have to do to be cleared to be a UIL coach for a year. And they let us use that to be able to get everybody's opinions on what was going on. Overall, it was a 73% coaches in favor of a shot clock across the state.
Wow.
However, at the highest classification, 6A and 5A, we were around 80%. And then as you go down in classification, because now you're talking about smaller schools, smaller budgets, et cetera, the interest level decreased. So, but overall, we were up above 70% as coaches. We all communicated that to our ADs and our superintendents. Then they were polled by the state. The UIL Legislative Council asked for their information, and they only supported it at a 53% clip. So they're seeing things that we as coaches don't necessarily see. That's why they're administrators and we aren't. But it was still brought to the forefront at the last Legislative Council back in June this past year in 2025. And there were only 2 people that spoke on shot clock to the 32 member Legislative Council. And that's all superintendents from all classifications, all regions across the state. So it's a big rainbow of representation. The TABC, our vice president, spoke in favor of the shot clock, gave all the hard data, all the hard facts. UIL backed that up by giving their poll data and everything that they had received. And one superintendent from South Texas spoke as well, and they spoke against the shot clock. Those were the only people that spoke at that meeting. And after their deliberation, they decided that they would not approve the shot clock at that time because of budgetary restrictions across the state. And this was before they had made the decision about vouchers and all that stuff that's going on now. So there was still questions about whether districts were even going to get their money for the previous school year. Where we're at right now is it's a continued advocation. It's not a closed subject, but it has to go through our athletic directors and superintendents speaking to that legislative council group of superintendents to make that thing move forward. They have to understand that we are continuing to push for it. They're not going to tell us no at this point. The TABC, specifically the coaching groups, are in full favor of it. Texas Girls Coach Association, Texas high school coaches as well. It's everybody's on board, but it's getting the people that really make the big time decisions to agree to make that happen. And the reason that it's being snagged right now also is that, like we said before, the upper classifications want it. The lower classifications, not so much. For the first time in implementation of any rules, whenever they do a new rule or a change, they will make sure that it happens at all classifications, not just the 6A or 5A level. So you'd think, okay, well, let's let the big schools pilot it out, see what happens. UIL doesn't necessarily operate like that. If they're going to make a rule change, they're making a rule change for everybody. So that if you transfer from a 3A school to a 6A, you're playing under the same set of rules. They don't want ambiguity to take place. So, but they did offer up the opportunity for us to advocate for it in more of a rollout style fashion, where we could potentially do district games at the 6A and 5A level, because those don't involve the other classifications. And then as the success of that grows, then roll it down to the lower classifications, or implement it at the 5A and 6A level, and then say, okay, 4A, you have one more year, or 4A and 3A, you have one more year, 2A and 1A, you have 2 more years to make this happen. Because if it is a budget issue, we want to make sure everybody can afford it. But it is still being pushed, and it's definitely not a dead issue.
So I'm sorry to be hogging, Lee.
You good? You good? I'll wait.
The one question, I don't know if you can share the reason, but the person that you said from South Texas,
yes,
if it was it something other than budgetary that they were against it?
No, that was the chief reason, and they were attempting to speak for a lot of superintendents in that one moment.
Right. Okay. So
it was just unfortunate that the one superintendent that did speak on the issue was the no. And then they're speaking to a bunch of their colleagues. They're speaking to a bunch of other superintendents.
Right.
So,
it's about budget, right? It's about
it's about when the rubber meets the road, it's always about money.
Because I get that part. I'm just like, I'm trying to think, is there any other reason why someone would say no? So basically they're in favor of it, but there's not any money to be able to make sure it's run properly for all classifications.
Yes, and of course at the lower classifications, they're worried about workers for games. Of course, that. So there's the personnel issue when it comes to it, and then the style of play at the lower levels is more of a controlled style of basketball as well. So you're talking about coaches that want to maintain control, run offense for 45, 50 seconds, a minute and a half to get the one shot that they want. So that. Styles make fights, and that's why at the lower classifications you saw less and less coaches willing to talk about shot clock, because they're married to their systems, and that's how they play.
Well, I think it's coming. I mean, because I know like so many years ago it wasn't even an option. So it's starting the game. So I think it's going to happen. What say you, Coach Williams?
Well, I mean, I'm hearing all of it. It's not nonsense in my eyes. Not what you're saying, Coach. But the bottom line is, to pacify someone. Yes, we're for it, but there's 2 things that's always used: safety and budget. And so, Coach, I mean, I call him Weave too. Hell, I didn't even know his name was Eric. I didn't know his first name was Eric. I call him Weave. So, and that's no disrespect, but the bottom line is, look, Texas folks don't want to change, especially in those smaller regions. The further west you get, they don't want to change. It's about control. I've been coaching this way for 15, 20, 30 years. And so, that's their style. They're going to hold on to it, and they're going to use budget and funding. And let's be honest, when you have a small town and small school, man, they shut down the town so everybody can show up. So it's not about personnel. It's not about we don't have enough workers per se. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with we've just said. This is their style. They're going to hold on to it as long as possible. Obviously, they're going to dangle a carrot and pacify us a little bit. So we think it's coming. I think it'll be a great idea to roll it out district wide. Many people, I think probably El Paso 8 years ago would have a lot of problems with the shot clock. I think now everybody's playing a lot faster, in my opinion. Obviously, I don't see every game, coach, but the games that I do watch, I think El Paso teams are playing much faster. Many thought it was just going to be bad basketball. And so I think we have really sped up the pace, which I'm pleased with. And then also with speeding up the pace, I think it's solid basketball for the most part. So I would love to see it. I know I didn't think it was a big deal when I was on the AU circuit my first time. I was in San Diego, and they said we have a shot clock. I was ultra arrogant and thinking like, what's the big deal? It's a big deal. It changes the game. Like you really have to be on your P's and Q's, and it's a ton faster. You got to make decisions faster. There's no wait, hold on for a second. Let's run this. You're down 10 with 2 minutes left. You're still good. I mean, so you've got to really manage each possession. And if you're gonna slow it down, you got to have quick hitters. It can't be these 4 or 5 pass 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sets. What Coach Weave was speaking on, that's not going to work. So you really got to change. It's a different game, and it taught me a lesson, a very big lesson about thinking that all the nuances and of this game. I mean, the shot clock it's different. So I would love to see it. I really think it would give El Paso teams. I know this is going to may sound crazy. It would give El Paso teams more of a shot, in my opinion, because you can't get up 10 and hold it. You just can't do it. And so put the old four corners. Put your best free throw shooters at the top, pass that thing around, put the big 6'1" kid in the middle, or maybe wave them out, and now we're trying to trap and we're just giving up layups or just really spreading it out. So I think it will be an asset to an El Paso group. That's just my thoughts.
Okay. Coach, was there anything else you wanted to add? I think I jotted down everything, but I'm not sure if there was anything that I missed that you wanted to make sure we knew.
I had a question though.
Yeah, big shout out to the Americas girls and then the Anderson Burgess boys on making their Sweet 16 and the Burgess making that Elite 8 run.
No doubt.
Again, like we talked about with the new playoff structure in general, that area round game, Lee, you hit on this last time when y'all were speaking. That area round game is no longer an area round game. That's like a regional quarter style of game. This thing amps up really fast, and the level of play is ridiculous. But it's also needs to be understood that you must be good to advance. You must be very good to advance. You got to be playing your best basketball. And then on top of that, the path has to be good for you too. Make no mistake. If we're playing potential state title contenders, at least on the girls' side in 5A and 4A basketball, round 2, period. These teams are highly ranked top 10 squads, and they have loaded rosters. So when you face that level, it is what it is. The Americas girls did their thing against Denton Ryan for a quarter. And then Denton Ryan went and won a state championship. And like y'all were speaking about before, Denton Ryan and Argyle both won the state championships in 5A this year, D1 and D2. They are in the same district. So it has already happened. This thing is the level of basketball in some of these areas is beyond people's comprehension, and nothing against them and all the aspirations that they have for their kids, et cetera. I think they are really out of tune when it comes to how deep the state is now on the basketball side. And we have to go through Fort Worth and then eventually Dallas to get down to San Antonio. It just is what it is. That is our path. We can't make any excuses. We have work to do. That doesn't mean it can't be done. No. But certain things have to come in line. You've got to get a group of kids that's really bought in. The America's Girls, I can speak to that. That's a bought in group that played together for a very long time, and those girls maximize themselves. I'm very happy for all of them. But that's what it takes. You got to have a group that's willing to go. Even when I was at Andress and we made the Final Four, those boys played together from the time they were 9 years old.
Right.
And they just agreed they were going to stick together. And they went through some lumps when we were the number one team in the state the previous year and didn't go win a state championship. But that team got galvanized and they made a Final Four as a result. So it takes a path. It takes a group. There's a lot of good coaching going on in town, like you were saying, Coach Williams. 7, 8 years ago, there'd have been a lot of resistance to a faster pace of play. Man, I seen teams that were ultra control squads now running and jumping and getting after it. Even the teams that aren't very solid will get up underneath you and force possessions. And to me, that is a tremendous, tremendous adjustment by some of these coaches that I thought were really just old and stodgy and collected checks. Some of these coaches are out there really putting it out there on the line for their girls and their boys. And as a fellow coach, I can appreciate what they're trying to do for their kids. They're letting them actually learn the game now. It feels like they're learning a little bit, man. It's good to see.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Coach, you had a question.
I had one question. Coach Weave, without giving up your Black Ops secrets, what's your approach to scouting district opponents, potential playoff opponents, without obviously, because there's some different styles. I know. I've got kids from kind of all over, and so everybody kind of has their different ways in which they scout teams. And my mindset is thoughts about how you are injecting that toward the kids. Like what's your approach on that, if I may ask?
First things first, there is no secret sauce. I have no secret ways. I have stolen all of these from other people. And I wish we as coaches in general would collaborate far more. I think we could help each other make runs in these playoffs. I wish people would kind of get their egos out of the way a little bit. I know we have them as we compete, but my goodness, that's an hour and a half in our lives. Other than that, it's about the kids that we coach. And if we can help each other put El Paso on the map and make these runs, I don't see why we're not conversating more. So let me put that out there first. And I'm the first one that's willing to help anybody when it comes to a scout, going and seeing teams, sharing film, whatever you need. This is about making sure your kids have an opportunity to succeed. So the more El Paso's on the map, the more all of us are on the map. You know what it is. When we win, everybody gets scholarships. So why are we not putting ourselves out there? But as far as like how I scout, I watch film for personnel. I want to see over consecutive games who you start. Who is your primary ball handler? Who is the one that you tend to go to scoring wise? Who are your basic options? And then if you present a specific problem philosophically, let's say you play two bigs and they're both of them are above 6 feet on the girls' side. I know you're probably going to try and pound us out. So that gives me an idea of how your basic style of play might play out. But other than that, I'm looking for your primary ball handler, who your scorers are, who tends to pound the glass for you. And then I'm looking at personnel tendencies. Are you very right? Are you very right-handed? Do you only dribble right? Does your offense primarily start on one side of the court and only enter to the other? I don't want to overload my kids with a lot of information. The better you are at what you do, you don't have to worry about other teams. But being able to give them the basic information and have a little bit of a leg up to start games is a big advantage. What you saw with every team that on the boys' side when they lost games, I'll say the three from the boys' side this year: Chapin, Andress, Burgess. All three of those squads got down early to teams. So it's a pace of play, it's a style, it's being used to being in that fire and then meeting it head on from the jump. You can't get down to these squads. You will lose games. And like you said, right now, Coach, there's no shot clock. So the moment they want to spread you out, you can forget it. Mansfield Summit wants to beat you 50-30, exactly what they did to Burgess. That is exactly right. That's how they play. And they're playing for another state championship on Saturday as a result. That's what they do. So really, it's just about the personnel. Do you have a pet set? I like breaking down. I do look at a lot of baseline inbound plays. If you have a vocabulary of baseline inbound stuff, you have a pet play that you run a lot. We like taking those away. One of our goals in games is to force you to get a couple 5-second counts. We want the ball back on your baseline inbound. If we can take some stuff away and frustrate you, that tends to frustrate a coach, especially when they feel like they've prepared a squad. And all of a sudden you can show them, look, you're not going to run everything you want to run against us. That's a point of pride for me as a coach. But no, we tend to keep it pretty simple when it comes to delivering the information to the kids. You don't want to overload them. Again, you want them being good at what they do. Let's concentrate on being us. If we can do us well, they have to do them well too. And then the kids tend to do a pretty good job of adjusting on the fly during the games. I'm pretty vocal, but I don't want to overload them with a lot of information. I just want them to play free and play confidently so they have a chance.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
Well, it's good having you on, Coach. We're going to move on because we have some other topics, but I do need to share with Lee. Coach Weave.
Tell him.
Is after. He's not a before butter the bread. He's an after.
Putting that bread on before it goes in the toaster, man. I don't know what y'all do.
I almost disqualified him from being on there just for that.
Listen, that thing is going on well before.
Okay, so all right. This is what I'll give you. If you're doing the vertical version, you can't be putting that butter on there, man. You trying to smoke the house out, man. Now I have batteries in my smoke detectors. I can't be having that butter burn at the bottom of that joker and then go up into the atmosphere. I can't be doing that. Now, them old school flat ones where, the old one, the oven, oven style. Now, I got you on that. That's just like putting that garlic bread in the oven and making sure it's right for that pasta I just ate earlier. I got you on that. But, man, butter before on the vertical?
See,
I don't know, man.
Coach, Coach, the thing is, there is an art form to spreading that thing before you put it in there. If you put too much on there, Coach, it's going down to the bottom for sure.
I feel you.
But
okay,
timing is of the essence. The timing is impeccable.
Scientific.
Okay. No. Now, so see, now this is going to be proof positive that I'm willing to adjust. Allow me to try your way. Not a lot on there. See, if you didn't notice, I grew up in a white house. My butter is always hard. It's coming out of the refrigerator, dog. It ain't sitting on the side waiting for me to treat it like margarine. I don't eat margarine. I eat butter. I don't eat that synthetic crap. I do butter. Okay, I'm good with that. I'll soften it up. I'll butter it on there. I'll do a slice. My wife does homemade bread, so like I've got it nice. So this figure is not by accident, dog. This is planned. So I'll put the butter on there before. I will actually try what you're talking about, and then I'm in full agreement when it comes to the cinnamon and sugar on there. That's how you get that done. I got you. Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me, man.
News Channel 7. News Channel 7. Breaking news. A house fire breaks out. And then Weave is in the mind talking about, I told him it needs to be put on afterwards.
If you see smoke trails in the Northeast, you know what happened, dog. You know what happened. I'm gonna message y'all, and I'm just gonna say Lee Williams. That's all I'm gonna say. That's the message. When you see that, then you know what happened.
We're gonna get sued.
No, I'll take full responsibility. I'll put that out there now. No, you're good. Man. I do not hold you personally responsible. That don't mean I'm not gonna call you out when it goes sideways, though. That is happening.
You're going to be good, Coach.
I'm sure. I just got to soften up that butter, man.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on and joining us. I got to figure out I'm working on trying to have where I can have at least 3 or 4 microphones so we can have additional guests in here. But this will help because now I know, well, we didn't get a chance to test it as much because I don't have it on there, but this is good. We can continue to do this. So thanks for coming on. I really appreciate you blessing us with knowledge and stuff on the UIL playoff format.
Absolutely.
So, my pleasure. Hey, I don't know everything. I know a little bit about a little bit, but anytime I can help, always, guys. Keep doing y'all's thing. Love the podcast, man. It's good stuff.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate the support.
Have a good one, Coach.
Y'all be safe, fellas.
Take care now.
Yes, sir.
Street cred sports. Say it with your chest. Yeah. Go get it from the net. Street cred sports. Okay, that's a bet.